One of the best in the game, Mr. Rich Mitchell, about to get this one underway. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the Cage Warriors lightweight division. Adam Shelley in the light blue, Matt Camilleri in the black, red and grey trim.
Ready, let's go.
Touch of gloves and we are underway. And Dan, immediately you can see that insane height difference between these two guys. Got to be one of the bigger height differences we've seen in Cage Warriors in recent years.
Yeah, it's a massive, just not just the height, but the general physique is entirely. Camilleri looking so much stockier and more powerful, but you can already see early Shelley taking advantage of that reach and looking to chop away at the calf, and I think that's very likely going to be a strategy he's going to implement there. He goes again, but in doing so he gives Camilleri the opportunity to get him back against the fence, and this is exactly where he wants him.
Oh, big elbows there from Shelley. You really
and this
heard the reverberations there, Dan.
Yeah, this is exactly what Shelley needs to be doing. He needs to not sacrifice the strikes for, sacrifice the takedown defense for the strikes, but he really wants to punish his opponent and make him regret trying to take him down. So far, he's able to get to a position, not a super strong position here, but you can see how Camilleri's trying to control these legs. He's trying to get into a leg ride position here and slowly climb his way up. He wants to try and drag Shelley's back off of the fence here and put him into a position where he really can start the transition.
Well, if you've ever seen any of Matt Camilleri's previous fights, you'll know this is a position he's very, very comfortable with. A great fence wrestler. And I was talking to Adam Shelley last night, Dan, and he said, look, this is what we prepared for. I've been expecting this. I know I'm going to spend a good majority of this fight using my defensive wrestling, and that's exactly what we're seeing here early on.
Yeah, and he does need to be careful about giving his back as he tries to stand up. Here I can almost see a little bit of an instinct. I mean, he has a whizzer on that right-hand side now, so that's a really smart thing to do to stop that back take. But Shelley's smart in landing ground and pound from this position, because the position that he's in is really a very static position for himself, whereas his opponent's having to work continuously the entire time. So if he can just stay in this position, he's not using any energy really to stay here, whilst his opponent's fighting very hard to try and advance. So if he just stays here, stays relaxed, doesn't use too much effort, and then lands some strikes, he can, even though he's not in a great position offensively grappling-wise, he could still be the one doing the most amount of damage, which is what the judges are scoring.
Absolutely. Yeah, remember that a great fight between Shelley's brother and Matty Elliott not so long ago in Cage Warriors, and Elliott did the good work with the wrestling, got the takedowns, but it was Shelley's brother Ryan scoring with elbows, and it was a close fight, don't get me wrong, but it was that damage that swayed the judges.
Yeah, well, right now, there's been no damage from Camilleri at all, and all the damage is being done by Shelley, albeit in the clinch and on the ground. He's the only one doing the damage here, and we've only got 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left in this round now. So, I mean, if he stays in this position, there's no advance at all, then this could be Shelley's round, despite the fact that he's really being controlled in the grappling.
Cage Warriors royalty, Paddy Pimblett in the house here at Cage Side, alongside Meatball Molly McCann, 2 former champions in the famous yellow gloves. And we have 2 men in the cage now looking to follow in their footsteps.
Yeah, Shelley needs to be careful again. Every time you can see Camilleri is being very patient as he tries to work into a higher position here, and he's almost leaving a little bit of a door open for Shelley to try and get up if Shelley gets up by giving up his back. And he needs to be very careful of doing that. You can see now already a bit of exposure there, and Camilleri's taking advantage, and you can see the right arm of Shelley with that overhook there, and that is the only thing right now that is really, I mean, he's got him back into a square position, but that right side overhook, that whizzer control is what is stopping Camilleri from taking the back. So a very, very smart placement from Shelley with that right arm.
Busy night for Team Next Generation here in Manchester. 7 athletes on the card. Paul Rimmer and crew going to be kept busy tonight.
Minute left in this round.
Camilleri needs to stay busy here against Adam Shelley. So far not been able to do any significant damage or get himself to a position where he can start attacking the neck.
Yeah, Shelley's done a fantastic job of neutralizing the offensive flow of Camilleri's attacks. And not only that, has he stopped him from advancing any position on the ground at all. I mean, he has not moved from this position for the entire time, which is probably about 4 minutes that he's been, if not longer. And the entire time, Shelley is landing strikes.
Shelley able to get back to his feet here, but immediately Camilleri trying to get around the hips. Shelley just clattering his man with those short elbows.
Yeah, you can hear from Chris Fields there, the perfect round, and it really is hard to argue because, I mean, on so many levels, he's allowed his, not allowed his opponent, but his opponent has had it. He's got to the position that he wanted to get to. He's not been able to do anything with it. He's using energy the entire time. Here was that takedown early, but Shelley was able to stay with his back up against that fence there and butcher his opponent from that, you know, basically off of his back the entire time.
Well, as we mentioned, folks, some Cage Warriors royalty here in attendance. Meatball Molly McCann and Paddy the Baddy. As we say, 7 teammates of theirs on the card tonight. Matt Camilleri there in the corner, looking to get things off to a flying start for Team Next Generation. But yeah, for my money, Dan, that's a Shelley round.
I think you'd struggle to argue otherwise. There was no, in terms of damage, there were only a couple of moments where Camilleri was landing anything. The big question now, and this is where it really gets interesting, is the game plan going to change up?
Camilleri still looking very fresh here. Plenty in the tank.
Expect to see more calf kicks from Shelley. Oh, beautiful.
There's that spinning technique that he's known for. Camilleri, though, just waving a finger saying, no, you didn't catch me. Gonna have to be careful about those, though. Nice straight left hand from Shelley, and Camilleri in on the takedown now.
Well, straight back to top position, and this is the exact same position that we saw him in for basically the entirety of the first round. The question is he going to change up what he's trying to do from there? Shelley able to pop back to his feet almost instantly. Now this is a much better position. He needs to walk to the center of the cage. So now he can put him on his back. He doesn't want to go back to the other side. He wants to put him in the center so he can't use the fence to stay upright. That's a much better position to be in, but you see, immediately Shelley moved. I would have said, when you have that amount of control, put him in the absolute center. Make it harder for him to put himself to the fence. But right now, Shelley's having to defend against this back take attempt. He doesn't have the wizard that we saw him use to try and stop, or successfully stop the back takes for that entirety of the first round. So Camilleri really in the best position we've seen him in so far, but Shelley doing a great job of defending this, forcing his opponent back to this forward clinch position. He's going to go for a same style, ducking underneath, trying to get his opponent on the shoulders, and then aiming him away from the fence. But these are very high energy attempts to take down, and I don't care how good your cardio is, it's going to be wearing eventually.
Yeah, the judges may be looking to score a high amplitude takedown like that as doing damage, but the takedown itself these days considered a change of position, so it's really about what Matt Camilleri can do with this position now he's got it.
And I think really it does seem that Camilleri is using a similar tactic that he did last time in the first round, sorry, and possibly just hoping that Shelley doesn't use that right hand wizard to defend against the back position.
Yeah, you heard Camilleri's corner there just saying hit him. They need him to do the damage here.
And Camilleri is, I mean, you can't knock his aggression here. He's pushing forward. I mean, this is the first moment that it looks like he's taking a backward step the entire fight. You've got to imagine he's starting to tire.
Big kick there from Shelley. Looking very measured, center of the cage. Again with a body kick and a big sprawl from Shelley.
Beautiful time sprawl there as he shrugs off this takedown attempt. Again, look at that left hand whizzer. So important to stopping his opponent from taking the back position. He's doing everything right in his takedown defenses, and he even drives forward to put his opponent on his back.
You hear Chris Fields there saying get out, step back. They want Camilleri on his feet.
Big breath from Camilleri. A minute and a half left in this round, and a whole nother round if he survives this one.
Close that fist at them.
Of course, what you don't want to be doing it against
Adam,
a guy
your fist.
with that much height on you is shooting in for a takedown when you're a little bit fatigued and eating one of those knees up the middle.
I mean, with someone like Shelley in front of you, I mean, I think if I was tired anything like that, I'd be absolutely terrified, because this is really what Adam Shelley wants here. He wants a tired opponent in front of him that he can unleash some of those kicks with. But Camilleri is still pushing the pace. He's still driving for these takedowns. He has to be careful of a back take of his own here and drive nicely to the center to negate that back take attempt. Just under a minute left in this round, and again, not really able to advance position much. That whizzer, the long arm whizzer of Adam Shelley, is just killing all of the offensive grappling transitions.
Just over 30 seconds left to play with in this second round.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the wrestling is, I mean, putting his opponent on his back has been real light work for Camilleri, but he's not doing anything with it. And, you know, the old scoring system where we would score takedowns, that isn't what we go by anymore in MMA. It's how much damage you're doing and what you do once you get that takedown. And it's good to see Camilleri starting to land a few more strikes. And I think going into the third round, that has to be the strategy. He has to put his opponent, stop trying to advance position and start doing this. Get on top and start landing big shots.
Good work from Camilleri there at the end of the round. But that's a big round for Adam Shelley in my books. And Camilleri likely to be needing a finish here. Let's take back, I look back some of the action, and there was that spinning kick, and as Camilleri says there, didn't quite land as flush as it did against Mohamed Kiramet in Dublin, but landed all the less. Camilleri with this big takedown here down. Trying to get Shelley down in the center of the mat. Nice body shot there. And we saw some good hands from Shelley in that round.
Matt, you ready? Ready.
Touch of gloves in the third, and we are underway. Nice jab from Camilleri there. Shelley answering back. Shelley with the left hand. The Dubliner on his toes here.
Camilleri doing a great job of pushing forward and closing the distance, trying to get Shelley's back up against the fence, but
there was just no one there for Camilleri. Shelley's footwork getting him out of danger.
Well, you've got to imagine in this third and final round that explosiveness. I mean, I'm sure it's still there, but it's not going to be there like it was in the first and for most of the second.
Shelley just showing Camilleri the jab again there. Gets that kick up on the left-hand side. And Camilleri chasing his man around the outside of the cage now. Clean left hand from Shelley. And these aren't big power shots, but they're all landing. And Shelley warned again there by referee Rich Mitchell. He's got to keep those hands closed when he's extending them forward.
A shot out of nowhere from Camilleri, and you can see he's really getting frustrated here. He's struggling to close the distance. He's struggling to get a good grip on his opponent. And he's really starting to slow.
And you hear the corner of Camilleri saying, you're running out of time, do something.
And there's another level change, but there's really not much behind it.
Not been able to get a read on Shelley and get him crushed up against that fence in this round. Does snatch the leg there though.
Yeah, he's got a good position on that single there. I think he might try and get underneath the hips and lift again. No, he looks to hook the leg, and this is the position that we've seen him in. Basically 100% of the time that he's been on the ground in this fight. He really needs to start landing some strikes from here though. It's not enough just to control the position. He has to do some damage from here. And here's a back take attempt. Arm under the neck, and it's all about angles here, using the fence. Wow, I've never seen anything quite like that. Spider-Man for a second, as Camilleri does everything in his power to try and get behind his opponent, and for nothing.
Camilleri's nickname is the Squid, and he was getting those tentacles around Adam Shelley there, but Shelley with a nice body kick. And this is exactly where Shelley wants this fight now. 2 minutes on the clock. Another nice left hand from Shelley. You can see that taekwondo, kickboxing background.
Finding his mark, Shelley. Nice shot by Camilleri. He gets the fight to a ground. Once again, he's got a minute and a half to work. I mean, is the best chance to win this fight at this point to try and find some desperate attempt to find the back, and if that is the way, then how does he do it? I think maybe similar to how he did before. I mean, Shelley's reactions are so fast on all of these grappling transitions. It really is difficult. He's passing around to the side here. He continues to try, and these really, really long legs of Shelley is making it more difficult. I mean, if Camilleri was able to get over the knee line, he would be in a great position, but the long shins are making it harder for him to do so. And most importantly, look at this whizzer with that left arm once again. Camilleri tries to take the back, but this whizzer position with the left arm, it just stops that easy access. It's going to turn Shelley as Camilleri tries to come to the outside.
Just over 30 seconds on the clock here. You hear Chris Fields asking for Adam Shelley to finish this on his feet.
.30 seconds left, just under 30 seconds left.
Camilleri still doggedly chasing this takedown.
I mean, you can't knock the heart and toughness. He has been aggressively trying to get this fight where he wants it the entire time, and he's just not been able to deal with the defensive grappling on the ground, really, not really with the takedown defense. He's able to get the takedown many, many times, but he's not really been able to do anything with it.
Yeah, you know, I think Camilleri is going to be a real problem for anyone without the level of defensive grappling that we've seen from Shelley here tonight. But that's a big performance from the Irishman here in Manchester. We're going to take a look back at some of the action now, and this was a unique little exchange here.
This was the closest attempt to taking the back. Camilleri wanted the back the entire fight, and this was the closest he had. You see the right arm of Adam Shelley. He was able to use his arm throughout the fight so effectively at stopping the continuous movement of the back take. And that was just a very, very close example. Jumping up on the fence to try and take the angle there with those long arms able to get on the inside every single time.
Shelley with the fast hands here, rolling under the counter shot from Camilleri. Coach Chris Fields in the corner there, former Cage Warriors champion himself. Cole Pendrad with it. Well, the scores are in, so all that remains is to go to our man in the cage, Mr. Hal Chaplin.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of mixed martial arts action, we go to our judges' scorecards. Your judges score this contest 30-27, 30-27, and 30-25 in favor of your winner by way of unanimous decision in the blue corner, Adam Shelley!
A big win for Adam Shelley. He moves to 5-2 as a professional. 4-1 here on Cage Warriors. This guy is going to be a problem for the lightweight division.